Hey there YouTube, Coin Hunter here. Today we're going to be doing a video on what you want to look for when hunting for treasure. My last video I had a lot of people who felt that I didn't explain very well about what we were looking for, so hopefully this video here today helps. We're going to start with the pennies, we're going to work our way all the way to the dollar coins, and we're even going to get into some currency. Alright, let's get started. Alright guys, so these are the pennies that you're going to be looking for. Now I'm going to try to do this in one video, but depends how long it takes to get through everything. I might have to break it into two videos. So we're going to take a look at the earliest to the newest, and we're going to kind of break them down for you. So over here we have a large cent. Now these range from 1836 to 1857. And you can see it's a much larger penny than your Lincoln cent. Now, if you're searching for these coin roll hunting, you're probably not going to find this in a penny roll, just because of how big it is. You're more likely to find it in a quarter roll or a $50 roll. But this is probably something that you will not find coin roll hunting. I've never found one. I don't know anyone who has found one. And these are typically made of copper. So that is what a large cent looks like. Okay, and then we're going to move our way to the Flying Eagle penny. Now the Flying Eagle pennies, they go from 1856 to 1858. They only made them for 2 years. And again, the chance of you finding this coin roll hunting are very slim, but it is possible. This is about the same size as a penny, so you're going to find this in a penny roll. I had actually purchased mine. And this is actually a very nice looking coin. It's in very fine condition. You got the Flying Eagle there. So that is a Flying Eagle penny. Now, the Indian head penny. Now these are going to range from 1859 to 1909. And these are a little bit more common than the two coins that I just showed you. I have found these coin roll hunting. They're not as rare as you would think, but again, they're not easy to find, but you can find them. And there are different types of these coins. They made little tweaks to them throughout the years, but this is what you would want to look for. So this is an Indian head penny. Now, on to the more common stuff that you would find. This is a Lincoln cent, but it's in 1943. Now, in 1943, they didn't make any pennies. I'm sorry. They tried not to make any pennies in copper. A couple of them did get out in copper, which if you find one is worth probably millions by now. But the majority of them are steel. They're made from steel in 1943. Now this is a wheat penny. So you can see the wheat right there. And they only made these in 1943. And that's a steel penny. So that's something you want to keep an eye out for. And then we have our regular wheat cent. So the wheat cents were made from 1909 to 1958. Now they don't have a large amount of significance as far as money unless you have key dates 1909 VDSB, that's one of them. 1955 double die. Those are just to name two of them. Those are the biggest ones, probably. But there are other dates out there that are key dates that if you find, you could be talking a little bit more money. Now, another thing is, too, in 1982, they stopped making the pennies in copper. And they started making them mostly zinc. So a lot of people hoard their copper pennies because if they ever make it legal to melt the copper pennies, you know, you're sitting on more money than just a penny. Copper is more than a penny. So if they ever do, that's a lot more money for you. I personally don't save them, but some people do. And then we're going to move on to the 2-cent piece. Now, again, this is not something that you probably will find coin roll hunting. It is possible. I've seen crazier things. But this is a 1964 2-cent piece. And again, this is about the size of a quarter. So you want to look out for those too. Alright, well, let's move on to the nickels. Alright, guys, so these are the nickels. Starting with the V nickel. The V nickels run from 1883 to 1913. And all of these coins you can find coin roll hunting. I've found each one of these several times over and over again. But you can see the big V there. Another name for it is Liberty nickel. Or Liberty head nickel. I call it a V nickel. And most of the nickels are made of copper and nickel. Except for the silver nickel. We'll get to that. But this is a V nickel. So next is the Buffalo nickel. The Buffalo nickels range from 1913 to 1938. And there's the buffalo on the back. I've heard some people call these Indian head nickels too, because of the Indian. That's a buffalo. And then, now not everybody does this, I do this. I save any nickels from 1938 to 1949. They do say that the earlier ones, they might be worth a little bit more. So I do hang on to them. But this is your typical Jefferson nickel. It's just much older. This one just so happens to be in 1938. Let's see if I can see the date there. 1938. Alright, now for your silver war nickels. Okay. The silver war nickels were made from 1942 to 1945. Now, there's an easier way to look at these and know that they're silver without checking the date. If you look at the back, you can see that big mint mark right there on top of the Monticello. It's a big P for Philadelphia. So that's the easiest way to know that that is silver. And you really want to look out for these. You always want to look out for the precious metal, silver, gold. So now, I hang on to these. You don't really have to, because chances are if they're in circulation, they're pretty beat up. So the value goes down once they start getting tarnished and stuff. But this is a proof nickel. Now you could tell it's proof not only by how mirror finish it is, but that S mint mark right there. Alright, let's move on. Alright guys, these are the dimes that you're going to be looking for. These are all 90% silver, 10% copper. So we're going to start with the seeded dime. And they go from 1837 to 1891. Now you're not likely to find one of these coin roll hunting. If you do, wonderful. I have never found one coin roll hunting. But that is a seeded dime. This particular one is 1877. It's a San Francisco. The next dime is the Barber dime. And they go from 1892 to 1916. This one is in very good condition. You can find these coin roll hunting. I have found these coin roll hunting, not this particular one. The one that I found was a lot more beat up. But you can find them. So that's a Barber dime. And then a Mercury dime. The Mercury dimes, they go from 1916 to 1945. And this is absolutely my favorite coin. I just love the way it looks. The front and the back. And then we have the Roosevelt dime. Now the Roosevelt dimes, they go from 1946 to 1964. And these are the most common ones. I find a lot of these. But that's the Roosevelt dime. And we're on to the quarters. Alright guys, so these are the different quarters you're going to be looking for. Again, these are going to be 90% silver. This one is a 1916 D Barber quarter. And the Barber quarters, they go from 1892 to 1916. And you'll get a good look at the back here. Right there you can see there's a D mint mark for Denver. And that is the Barber quarter. So over here we have the Standing Liberty quarter. And they go from 1916 to 1930. And this is a really nice looking coin. I have found one of these coin roll hunting also. The coin before it, I've never found. So this is a 90% Standing Liberty quarter. And then you have your Washington quarter. Your Washington quarter, they were 90% silver from 1932 to 1964. You can see the D mint mark right there. Normally it would be right here near the date, but the silver ones, they're on the back. Now, a lot of people think, well, I'm just looking for silver, it's 1964 and under. That's not the case. In silver proof sets, which they still make today, you find silver quarters. So right here we have a bicentennial silver quarter. Now this is right out of a silver proof set. So it would have been an 1876 silver proof set. And these are only 40% silver. But still silver. Now there's other things you can find. There are 90% silver, like say 2011. 2011, it's just a regular quarter. But if it came from a 2011 silver proof set, it could still be silver. So this next coin I'm going to show you is silver plated. So now this one's a 2002. If you can see that, it's solid white. And then here we have a gold plated. So that's something else you want to look for. Gold plated coins, silver plated coins. Then you also want to look for proof coins. Now this is a proof coin. I showed you the nickel. Well, here's a quarter. And there's the S Mint mark again. Now, some of you might be asking, well, how do I tell that it's silver when I'm coin roll hunting? So, I'm going to give you an idea of what you're going to look for. So you see the copper in those 4 coins. And then you see the one in the center is solid white. Now that would be your silver coin. See? There's the D Mint mark. So those are the quarters. We're going to move on to the halves now. Alright guys, so these are the $50 that we're going to be looking for. So we're going to start with the Barber $50. And this goes from 1892 to 1915. And it's 90% silver. This one's in pretty beat up shape. But nonetheless, it is 90% silver. So you want to look for this. Next we have a Walking Liberty $50. These go from 1916 to 1947. And from here on in, I found all these coins coin roll hunting. So you can really get any of these. So this one is a 1941D. Eagle on the back. And you can see the D Mint mark right there. And that's 90% silver. Next we have the Franklin, Ben Franklin. And these coins go from 1948 to 1963. And it is 90% silver again. Liberty Bell on the back. I actually just found one of these in my recent coin roll hunt. Stopped at a gas station and I found one. So that was very sweet. Next is the Kennedy $50. So they were 90% silver in 1964. But 1964 was the only year that they were 90% silver. That's a 1964. So now from 1965 to 1970, they made 40% silver coins. So from 1965 to 1970, they're 40%, and then 1964 is 90%. So that's a 40% Kennedy. And then, of course, your proofs. It has that mirror finish. It has the S Mint mark. Now, you don't have to keep these, like I said. Once they're in circulation, they get a little beat up. This one's in better condition than some of them. So I happen to keep this one. And the proof coins are worth more than your standard 50 cents. But I mean, the better condition they're in, the more they're going to be worth. So that's your half dollars. Now I'm going to show you the dollars and some currency. Alright guys, so these are the dollar coins that you want to look for. You really can't coin roll hunt these very often. I've gone into banks and asked if they have the big Ike dollars. That's pretty much the only place you're going to find them if they give you a roll of Ike dollars. They're not very common. You barely see them in the banks. But they are out there, so I mean, next time you go to your bank, ask if they got any funny looking money. Ask if they got any weird coins or anything. That's the only way you're going to get these outside of buying them. So over here we have a Morgan dollar. Now the Morgan dollars, they go from 1878 to 1921. This is a very nice looking coin. This just happened to be Carson City. Carson City was a place that used to mint coins back in the older days, the 1800s, the early 1900s. They don't do minting anymore. So when you find a Carson City, it's really nice. You can see the CC there at the bottom. And Carson City tends to be a little more valuable than, you know, San Francisco or Denver or Philadelphia. This is actually the only Carson City piece that I have. So that is a Morgan dollar. Next is the Peace dollar. The Peace dollar went from 1921 to 1935. It's got the big eagle on the back. And these are big dollars. And again, these are all 90% silver. So now we're on to the Ike dollar. Now this Ike dollar, I believe, is only 40% silver. From 1971 to 1974, San Francisco, estimate mark right there, they did a 40% silver Ike dollar. Now, like I said, the only way you're going to find these is if you ask the teller at the bank, say, hey, do you have any Ike dollar rolls or any dollar coins? You might get lucky and get one of these. But that is the dollars. Now we're going to do some currency. Alright guys, so this is the currency that you want to look for. Next time you're at the bank, just ask if they have any funny looking bills. Hopefully you get something good. I've done that before, and I've gotten red seals, blue seals. So the blue seals, if you don't know, you used to exchange them for silver. So you take a blue seal into the bank and you'd get $5 worth of silver or $10 worth of silver. The red seals, same concept but with gold. So you take a $2 bill into the bank and you get $2 in gold. So we're going to start up here with the $10. So this is a 1934 $10 blue seal. So it kind of looks the same as an older $10 bill minus the blue. Okay. So we have a red $5 seal. And this is a 1963. Now they stopped making red and blue seals in 1964. So this is a 1953 blue $5 seal. Now I have them in these plastic because you want to keep them in the best condition you can. I mean, even if they're already beat up, you want to keep them at the condition you get them in. Obviously, the better the condition, the more they're worth. So now for the $2 red seal. This is a 1953 series. Now the back is different on this one when you get into the older ones, like the 1928, I believe it is. The back is different. So that's a $2. And then you have your $1. 1957 series. And again, when you get into the older ones of these, the back is a little bit different. They call it a funny back. And that is the currency that you want to look for. So next time you're at your bank, just ask the teller if they have any funny looking money. Maybe you'll get lucky. Please remember to like and subscribe. And until next time, D Coin Hunter out.